Well, this is something I wanted to do a month ago, but for reasons I would say they were unbeknownst to me, but no, I do know the reasons. For reasons TM, there we go. I haven't been able to do that. I know that, for a long time, I want to say it's been about 2.5, 3 weeks since anything's been posted to DSA, since anything's been posted to any of my socials that hasn't been about, the genocide and ethnic cleansing that's happening in Gaza. Um, hey, we've been doing DCA, Desk Chair Analysts, for 6 months. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who's been supporting. Really do appreciate it. But it's still that thing of starting the website, starting Desk Chair Analyst when I did was a really bad time to do it, given where my attention would ultimately end up at the end of the day, to where most of my time, my energy, my focus is on what's happening in Gaza. Also focusing more on my personal political beliefs, which have been alluded to multiple times. And if you've watched or listened to multiple episodes of Tech Talk Thursday, you know that they became I don't want to say they've become more radical over time. I still feel like, one, for all the things that I talk about on the show, for all the things that I write about, for everything that I am posting on Mastodon or Threads or Blue Sky, or even now Facebook again, like, these shouldn't be very, very radical statements to make, even though the language I use to share those thoughts and opinions do tend to be fairly radical in the way I am conveying them. It has taken a lot of time from doing DCA stuff to a point where at multiple times a day at this point, I contemplate whether or not DCA will continue to exist. Not because we can't get funding. Like, no, I can, as much as, yes, I would love to be supported for being an independent tech journalist and trying to help out other independent tech journalists like myself through Patreon. Again, this is not me plugging these things. This is just like, hey, just stating facts of where you can help. If you choose to do that, it's not like I don't want that support, but the fact of the matter is I would not start things if I couldn't support it on my own. Mainly because of the fact that I do not want to be dependent on someone else, like, to an extent where it's like, I'm like, things that I'm doing are being bought. If you want to help, you want to donate, sure, that's cool. But I want to make sure that it is still, at the end of the day, owned by me. But yeah, so it's like, it's not so much of a funding issue as much as it is like an attention and a time spent issue. Where there are things that I am doing outside of the house, like attending rallies, going to classes to learn more about what's happening in the world. Things that, aren't normally taught in schools. Kind of getting firsthand accounts of what's happening, and, understanding the history of a lot of things. To where, yeah, like, it's almost like going to school. Even now, was the thing I suggested too. Instead of going to work, hey, I might go to school. To where it's like, yeah, after learning a lot of things, I just want to come home and relax and play video games and watch TV. Or maybe even read a book. And that's kind of where it's like, I don't know if I can sit here and write anymore or devote the time to DCA like I used to, because that now seems like writing about tech and gaming does not seem so appealing to me anymore because there's bigger things to worry about. I know that there are huge things that are happening, and yes, we can frame it like it can be framed in like, hey, this is what the capitalist system is doing to us. Like the things that we enjoy, here's how capitalism is ruining it. But it still feels like there are better things. I still feel like, and this is not to go against like gaming or anything, but still feel like, man, there are better things I could do with my time than write about this nonsense. Like this seems so inconsequential right now when there are bigger things happening. There are people who are losing their lives. Granted, we can still talk about even here in the belly of the beast in the U.S. empire, there are people who are losing jobs, who are losing their livelihoods, and who could be homeless, and how homelessness is now even being criminalized in some places to where they get put into jails, and then ultimately they use the jail labor as free or reduced cost labor. But yeah, I feel like there's more to it than just writing. Like I can be doing something else, doing more direct action. So that's kind of where I am with a lot of this. I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know. I thought about maybe I should write down some points to cover, but I just wanted to get on here and actually say something. One, I guess to generate some hashtag content for this channel, but at the same time, too, kind of letting people know, hey, where did everything go? Like all of a sudden I was gone, like I was gone for a funeral. And then I barely came back. I came back to play a video game and then disappeared again. But yeah, like that's kind of where I am. I'm not like, I do not think that Tech Talk Thursday is not going away. That is the one thing I know I can do fairly consistently. I don't know what's going to happen with Desk Chair Analysts though. I do want to keep that up because it is a body of work that I've worked on and I'm very proud of it. And honestly, I do feel like I want to get back to it, but I don't know when that'll be. I definitely have some other people who are writing articles for the site. Definitely I would check out Sin's article on divestment from a lot of these social media platforms as they are supporting terrible things around the world. But what does that look like when you're actively divesting? Are you divesting and replacing it with something else? Or are you divesting and realizing you don't need to replace it and then just ultimately pick up your things and walk away, which are very valid arguments. And of course, we've got Kev, who's covering the indie space, which I feel like still does not get its due. When you're looking at AAA studios and what they're doing. So it's nice to see that, there is coverage that's coming, and it's coming from Desk Chair Analysts about indie titles, and that there are people who are very passionate and who like to see that content. So yeah, Desk Chair Analysts is not going away. I'm not sure when I'll be back because I'm busy and tired and trying to do 50 million other things. I would like to come back, but just kind of give you an idea of where I've been, what's been going on. And honestly, just I've noticed that I've seen a lot of people who are out there, kind of looking at what's happening out in the world, but not really doing anything. And for those people, I do want to say, and I was like, I don't want to criticize people for, actually I do. No, I want to take that back. I do want to criticize people for that. I feel like I have a right to, I have a right to share my opinion on things. And I feel like there are a lot of people who should be out there saying things and that aren't, because they're too afraid to lose their bag. They're too afraid to lose their money, their status, and what they've built. As someone who's had a lot of that and then lost it, like lost all of it in like a snap of the finger over a year ago. I mean, sure, we can look at me and say, look, I've got nothing to lose. And you're absolutely right, I don't. And that's why I speak up on things. But I feel like the stronger voices are coming from people who do have something to lose. Excuse me. It's baffling to me that people are so afraid to stand on business and actually say the things that matter because of the fact that they're afraid that their money's going to go away, that they may sit there lose followers because they've built the followers. Like the fact that, again, this is one thing I've always said on the show, and then I've been very adamant about people not leaving Twitter. Who will sit there and say, look, I don't want to be on this platform. I don't want to be associated with people because of the fact, these are the things that they believe. But then when those things are presented itself by the platform holder themselves, it's like, but my followers, but my brand deals. How will they track me on place? And it's sad. It was sad to see it then, when it was just like, hey, well, nobody's like, granted, there are people who are dying from racist speech, who are dying from anti-blackness, who are dying from anti-Semitism, especially that's the brand that's being spewed all over Twitter. But I guess I figured that, okay, maybe they don't care about what's happening on Twitter. They can filter it out. I sure as shit could have filtered it out for the most part. Like a lot of the things that people were seeing on Twitter before Musk took it over, I wasn't seeing. But to be at a point where we're like 7 months in a genocide, and to still see people say, hey, are you watching me on Twitch? Are you following me here? You following me? You're getting the content over there? Like, but nothing about, hey, this is what's happening to black and brown people overseas. Look what's happening in Palestine. Look what's happening in Congo. Look what's happening in Sudan. Just ignoring all of that to keep people funneling in on Twitch, on YouTube, like refusing to talk about, to bury their heads in the sand. And then flip around and say, look, it's too complicated, which again, don't see how it's complicated. People are being killed by a state. Not complicated. Who am I to sit there and speak on the issue? Somebody who is living within the belly of the beast, who's living in the U.S. empire, who may not agree to the fact that people are being killed by a state, especially a state that's being funded by the organization you live in, that you pay your tax dollars to. Or the person who's buying the new smartphones, who are looking at new technology, knowing that, there is a country that is being actively exploited for the rare earth metals that you need. Well, they may not be rare, but the country is mineral rich. But the people are being exploited to get the things that these electronics need. It's really weird. It's really weird. It's really gross that, people tend to just not care. But I'm gonna let that go. I've said what I said. I'm gonna let it go. I came on here to let y'all know that I'm okay. I'm alive. Just taking some time to myself, a little bit longer than I expected. Hopefully, sometime in 2024, I'll get back to streaming at a regular schedule, like I was in 2023, maybe 2022. Back when I didn't have much to worry about and could actually, peel off and do a stream. Get back to writing articles for DCA like I used to. But yeah, until then, hey, I'm here. I'm doing some stuff. I'm doing what I feel is very meaningful work, which is one of the things that I believe in. Having a society where we can do meaningful work as opposed to just work to get a paycheck because I feel like the meaningful work I'm doing is going to keep me from getting a paycheck for a very, very long time. But yeah, I'll see y'all soon. Peace out.